Hello, everybody. This is Anime Dungeon Showdown, and this was a project by me, Tyler Basil.
Hello, my name is Sinan Bagos. I also worked on Anime Dungeon Showdown.
And hello, everybody. My name is Juan Figueroa, and I was also part of Anime Dungeon Showdown.
Okay, so our project is a 2.5D anime dungeon crawler, and while crawling through the dungeon, you'd be able to level up your character and upgrade the abilities to increase the damage. Um, you also would be fighting different types of enemies. You would end up on a boss wave, where a boss just comes in and tries to attack you. Um, the purpose, as you can see, is to develop new skills and showcase our skills. I know for the most part, our CD major partner Juan, he definitely was developing new skills, trying to learn how to do uh, 2D pixel art. And I think the stuff that he did, for the most part, was good. Showcasing our skills is like I with making the characters and having them move around and all that. I'll get more into that later. And as you can see, the goal is to make a demo for the game, but it's more of a proof of concept right now, or even just kind of like a demo video to kind of show off the game. But that is the project. Now, as you can see from here, I was lead gameplay and core mechanics, so I was focusing on the ability system, the swapping out between your characters, uh, which kind of became a concept later on. Uh, but I thought it came out good. And now to go on to the next person.
I worked on map creation, the UI, and sound effects. I didn't create them manually, but I implemented them.
As for me, for communication design, I was the lead in character and weapon design and the walk frames for both enemies and characters. A little bit for the boss, too. You'll see you're not going to see the walk frames in here, but you will see them in our demo that we have. Um, Tools used. So these are the tools that we used. I use Pixel Studio so I can create the design of every character and every weapon that is there. We also used Unity so we can that basically for Tyler so he can touch into making the controls, how everybody moves, how everybody works and fights. Blender, we're sending use that so we can create all of the maps that we have, both of them, both the level and main, which you will talk about in later, and GitHub, basically where we added all our assets in there, and we can all just pick from there and throw it into Unity. Characters. These are the characters that we have. On the left, we have Kilku. He is the long range type character, and Ruby is the close range type character. They both exclusively use, right there, what weapons they use. And to show off the weapons, here we go. We have two scythes, an energy sword, a regular axe, and an energy sword. Here we have energy ball, freaking wind, lightning, and the Kamehameha. That's what we have here. Basically, Ruby will be exclusively using these, and Kilku will exclusively using these. Here are the enemies and the boss. So here we have the main boss right here. We have, I guess we'll call him, for now, iBoss and his little ions. Little play on words there, if you get it. These are going to be the main enemies that we have in the dungeon. And then here is the main boss again. And now we're going to move on to Senin, which he's going to talk about the levels now.
So we can start with the tutorial map. This is the first iteration or the first map we created. I guess technically I made like a lobby map, but this is the first action map, like actual. Oh, maybe sorry, I got a notification. So right here is our tutorial map, or one of our first level, you could say, but really a tutorial. I did create a lobby map where if you walk into somewhere, you get put into the main map or the tutorial. But here's the tutorial. You see, there's walls, there's chests, there's coins, and it's somewhat spacious. It has to be small enough for the tutorial to really shine through. But that was one of the things we had to think about when creating. And I'll show you. Here is the main demo level where you have the spawn, the main wave room, which is where once you enter, you would get locked in, and then waves would start happening. Same with this room, but here's also the boss room. But you can see that there's the map, the main map for the demo. So yeah,
And here we have our problems. The first one was too similar to other games. We had people saying that it was too similar to games, and we kind of tried to strive off that a little bit. And I'll explain a little bit, I think, after this, why or how we try to do that. Second, sadly, we couldn't get any play testing in. I was really hoping we could. Maybe, hopefully, before festival we can, and maybe clean up a little bit of stuff. Not a lot of items, meaning I didn't get to add any maybe like health packs or, for example, grappling hooks or like a flashbang in there. I wasn't able to add any of those in time.
I'd also like to talk about procedural dungeon generation, which I did try to implement, but is very difficult, especially considering that most of the tutorials and like research I had to do or did was for like tiny like modular type of chunks to load in next to each other and like extend properly. The thing with that is that we need a lot of room and space for our player to fight other mobs and enemies. So it was hard to implement like corridors into a big space on top of generating loot if we were to go that route instead of or more so I were to go that route with auto generating chests and coins. So it's just extremely difficult, especially also with spawning just every like enemies. So yeah.
All right, so here are the changes I was talking about. So for the first one, when we try to talk about being unique and little not special but unique. Yeah, excuse me. Uh, we were originally gonna do 3D, but now it went to 2.5D. A lot of people said that it'd be a little bit unique to. I've been saying that word a lot. We'll have it better if we do it 2.5D. It look cool and special. Another change we had beta turned into a small demo, and character design. There was a massive hit of the character design last last second, but we were able to fix it. I was able to fix it whenever it needs to be done, and now everything looks cooler, better, and special.
And to move on from that, we did run into challenges. We lost a couple characters due to some conflicts. We had to keep shifting goals every week because either one thing wouldn't be finished on time, or we would have to kind of wait for somebody else to finish what they started. But in the end, we kind of have everything all together.
Another challenge was combining our work together because we did such various different things that having it all become like one concise and cohesive game was very difficult to try to implement. An example I can give is trying to like add the new way our player moves into the new maps and making sure it works with all the chests and enemies. Make sure enemies spawn correctly. That was hard to do. So yeah.
The core systems, which is what I worked on, is geared to be a game controlled with WASD, to walk around and move around. But the mouse would work as a way to move the character, like the character's head left, forward, right, or backwards, and that's how you would kind of control where you're looking and aiming at. uh, as it shows here, the character controller, which is how you control the character, obviously, the ability animations. So the ability animations was a unique one. Um, it uses a lot of test animations for now, while I get the sprites and stuff for it. And then you just combine it and create a little ability animation. The UI for minion abilities. Now I didn't do the UI. That was what Senin did. However, it is still a core system. And then interactable chest and coins. Now I kind of did work on the interactable chest a little bit, but mostly just to upgrade the character. Senin, on the other hand, did the interactable chest and coins to where you can pick up and open chest or collect coins.
What we learned. So for the CS side, both for Tyler and Senin, they were able to learn, scope management, project management, and pre-production. Pre-production was a little interesting. We were kind of everywhere at first. We didn't know how we were gonna start stuff. Well, we did, and then it kind of just went all hectic, and it was interesting. That's all I really have to say about that. Um, for my end on CD, I was able to learn how to use GitHub. GitHub was introduced to me a lot, but we never really used it in the past. So this semester was my very first time ever using GitHub. And same goes for Pixel Studio. This was my first time ever doing 2D, or I'm sorry, pixelated art. So I'm actually happy that how these characters came out for my first time. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too, how they looked and how everything looked clean or cleanish. Future plans. So the first one here is, get some more playtesting in. If we do continue this game, I really want to get more playtesting with the beta that we have here, the first demo that we have. See what people think about it or how they think about it and maybe give us more feedback. Redesign on some characters to be more polished. I know they don't look the best, but I really hope that we can, redesign it, get them cleaner and more get more walk frames in there, more of the framing of the characters, adding more items to the game, like I mentioned before, the health packs, grenades, and flashbang. Maybe a little bit of a I don't know distraction for the enemies, and maybe add more people into the project. I honestly would love to continue this game because I feel like this game would be fun for people that are really interested in these type of games, dungeon like games, rogue like games, and to really get more characters in and hopefully maybe in the future because I know you can get a little trouble by using these nowadays in games, we get the green flag for using different characters like from animes, like I don't know, like Goku or what's another I could think of, I guess Luffy, any of those but pixelated. We get green flag. Well, we can get green flag in the future.
And as always, thank you for listening to this presentation and sharing your time.
So I'd like to say thank you for listening to our presentation, our capstone.
I know they say that thank you already, but I'm gonna say it again from all of us. Thank you for giving us the time that you have. I'm really proud of this project. We did have some bumps. Getting close to the ending, there was some bumps that were there and some stressful stuff, but we were able to create this game, create this demo, and hopefully for in the festival, a lot of people will enjoy our game. So again, thank you, and that's it for our capstone presentation video.